Now is some simple techniques to release tension in the TMJ, which is the temporomandibular joint. The TMJ is the joint between the mandible and the skull, and it's a little hinge joint. It's right in here. I mean, there's a lot more to it all down here, but this is basically the point where the joint is. You can feel a bump here. If you want to come in close and take a look here, there's a lump here, and then there's a little deficit here, a little valley here, and then there's another little bump here. Between those two is the actual joint. So with the Masterson method, we use whatever level of touch it takes to bypass the horse's survival response, which is a bracing response. And with the TMJ here, the best level of pressure to start with here is what I call air gap, which is barely touching, or egg yolk, which is probably just that much pressure. I'm demonstrating down here on his cheek. That's we want to use the lightest pressure we can, and I'm just going to rest my fingertips, flats of my fingertips right here on the joint, and I can use one fingertip or two fingertips to cover that area, and I'm just going to rest. Let me do my left hand. Rest my fingertips here. Now if I do it softly, I'm waiting for the signs of release and relaxation. Response would be blink. See his eyes soften and start to blink. And I'm using air gap pressure here, which I'm barely touching. Now this is, you have to give the horse a minute, his nervous system, to start to respond to this. But you can see there we go. His eyes soften, now he starts to lick and chew. So that happened pretty quickly with him. And he's starting to release tension in this joint already. And this is just by me barely touching the skin. And you want to resist the temptation. You have to have patience. You have to resist this temptation to push harder. Because when you push harder, the horse just blocks it out. If you want to do anything, you want to do even lighter. There we go. See, even lighter. He softened. Now I'm really air gap, barely touching. You see how that works? I was going too hard, even though he had learned to kind of block out that really light, where I was. And by going even lighter, his nervous system had to yield a little bit.